Welcome to Public Account, where real-life nightmares come alive. Prepare to be haunted by chilling tales of the unknown, drawn from actual events. Lights off, volume up, and remember, these horrors are closer than you think. Subscribe, if you dare.
The Anguished Man, a haunting legacy in paint. Sean Robinson, a resident of Cumbria, England, never anticipated that a family heirloom would plunge him into a world of eerie occurrences and supernatural speculation. The object in question was a painting known as The Anguished Man, an unsettling piece of art that would soon garner worldwide attention for its purportedly haunted nature. Robinson inherited the painting from his grandmother in 2010. According to family law, the artist who created The Anguished Man had an unusual and macabre method for his work. It was said that he mixed his own blood into the paint, and shortly after completing the painting, he died by suicide. This grim backstory was enough to instill a sense of unease, but it was the events that followed Robinson's acquisition of the painting that truly cemented its reputation as a haunted object. From the moment Robinson brought the painting into his home, strange occurrences began to unfold. He reported hearing inexplicable noises, such as crying and moaning, that seemed to emanate from the painting itself. The disturbances were not confined to auditory phenomena. Robinson also claimed to have seen the figure of a man in his house, an apparition that appeared to be linked to the painting. Determined to document these strange events, Robinson set up cameras around the painting and began uploading the footage to his YouTube channel. The first video, posted in 2010, quickly garnered attention. Viewers were captivated by the eerie sounds and the unsettling atmosphere surrounding The Anguished Man. Some were skeptical, attributing the phenomena to natural causes or trickery, while others were convinced that the painting was genuinely haunted. The online interest in The Anguished Man continued to grow, with Robinson's videos attracting thousands of views and sparking intense debate among paranormal enthusiasts. The painting's notoriety reached a new peak in 2016 when the rights were acquired to make a film based on its story. This development brought The Anguished Man into the mainstream, further fueling public fascination. Despite the widespread attention, Robinson maintained that he had no desire to exploit the painting for profit. His primary motivation was to share his experiences and seek answers about the nature of the haunting. He moved the painting to different locations within his home, trying to discern if the disturbances would cease. However, the strange occurrences persisted, suggesting a strong connection between the painting and the phenomena. The story of The Anguished Man also drew the attention of paranormal investigators. Some of these experts visited Robinson's home to conduct their own examinations. They employed various techniques, such as electronic voice phenomena, EVP recordings, and thermal imaging, in an attempt to capture evidence of the supernatural. While the results were often inconclusive, the investigations only added to the mystique surrounding the painting. Several theories have been proposed to explain the haunting associated with The Anguished Man. Some believe that the artist's tragic death imbued the painting with a malevolent spirit, causing the disturbances experienced by Robinson and his family. Others suggest that the blood mixed into the paint created a unique bond between the artist and his creation, leading to a residual haunting. Skeptics, however, argue that the phenomena could be explained by psychological factors or environmental causes. Despite the various interpretations, one thing remains clear. The Anguished Man has left an indelible mark on those who have encountered it. Robinson's experiences have been shared widely, and the painting has become a symbol of the intersection between art and the supernatural. The film adaptation, announced in 2016, aimed to capture the eerie essence of the painting's story. While it took creative liberties, the core narrative remain true to Robinson's experiences and the chilling legacy of the artist who created The Anguished Man. The film's release brought a new wave of interest to the painting, introducing it to audiences who may not have encountered the story through Robinson's YouTube channel. In the years since its emergence into public consciousness, The Anguished Man has continued to fascinate and frighten. It stands as a testament to the power of art to evoke profound emotions and perhaps to serve as a conduit for the unknown. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, the story of The Anguished Man invites contemplation on the mysteries that lie at the intersection of creativity, tragedy, and the human experience. As Sean Robinson keeps the painting in his possession, he remains a reluctant guardian of a piece of art that defies simple explanation. His journey with The Anguished Man is ongoing, a personal saga that continues to intrigue and unsettle those who dare to look into the anguished eyes of the painted figure and wonder what secrets it might hold. Annabelle, the Haunted Raggedy Ann Doll. Introduction. The story of Annabelle, the supposedly haunted Raggedy Ann doll, has fascinated and terrified many since it first came to light in 1970. The doll, now an infamous artifact in the realm of paranormal lore, was housed in the occult museum of renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Annabelle's alleged haunting and the subsequent events have inspired numerous stories, books, and films, solidifying its place in popular culture and paranormal folklore. Background. The story of Annabelle began in 1970 when a student nurse received the doll as a gift. According to the Warrens, the nurse, known as Donna, and her roommate Angie began noticing strange occurrences involving the doll. It would change positions, move from one room to another, and even leave handwritten notes saying, "Help me." Concerned, Donna and Angie sought the help of a psychic medium, who informed them that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle Higgins. The medium claimed that Annabelle had died young and was lonely, seeking comfort and companionship from the two women. Sympathetic to the spirit's plight, Donna and Angie attempted to nurture and care for the doll. However, the doll's behavior soon became increasingly sinister. It reportedly exhibited malicious and frightening actions, leading to physical attacks on a friend of the nurse's named Lou. The Warrens' intervention. Frightened and desperate for answers, Donna and Angie contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, prominent figures in the field of paranormal investigation. Upon investigating, the Warrens concluded that the doll was not inhabited by the spirit of a young girl, but by a demonic entity seeking to possess a human host. They declared the doll demonically possessed and removed it from the apartment, bringing it to their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. The Warrens placed Annabelle in a specially designed glass case, complete with warnings about the doll's dangerous nature. The case was blessed regularly by a priest to prevent the entity from causing further harm. Despite its containment, the legend of Annabelle continued to grow, fueled by the Warrens' accounts and various media portrayals. Skepticism and criticism. The story of Annabelle has not been without its critics. Joseph Laycock, an assistant professor of religious studies at Texas State University, has pointed out that many skeptics view the Warrens' occult museum as nothing more than a collection of ordinary, off-the-shelf items dressed up to appear sinister. Laycock argues that the legend of Annabelle is an interesting case study in the interplay between pop culture and paranormal folklore. He suggests that the trope of the demonically possessed doll, popularized by films like Child's Play and The Conjuring, may have its roots in earlier stories, such as the legend of Robert the Doll and a 1963 episode of The Twilight Zone, titled Living Doll. Science writer Sharon A. Hill has also criticized the sensationalism surrounding Annabelle and the Warrens Museum. She noted that much of the mythos appears to be self-generated by the Warrens, particularly in conjunction with the release of The Conjuring films. Hill emphasized that the real-life Annabelle, much like the real-life Ed Warren, is far less impressive than their Hollywood counterparts. She highlighted the lack of verifiable evidence supporting the supernatural claims made by the Warrens, suggesting that their accounts should be taken with a healthy dose of skepticism. The legacy of Annabelle. Despite the skepticism, the legend of Annabelle has endured and evolved. Gerald Brittle's 1980 biography of the Warrens, The Demonologist, features the doll prominently, further cementing its place in paranormal lore. Annabelle's story has been adapted into several films within the Conjuring universe, captivating audiences with its eerie and unsettling narrative. The occult museum where Annabelle was displayed eventually closed due to zoning violations. However, the doll's notoriety persists, with many believing in its dark and malevolent powers. Annabelle remains a subject of fascination for paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike, serving as a reminder of the thin line between myth and reality in the world of the supernatural. Conclusion. The tale of Annabelle, the haunted Raggedy Ann doll, continues to captivate and terrify those who hear it. Whether viewed as a genuine case of demonic possession or as a cleverly constructed piece of folklore, Annabelle's story is a testament to the enduring power of the paranormal in popular culture. As long as there are those who believe in the supernatural, the legend of Annabelle will undoubtedly continue to haunt the imaginations of many for years to come. As to The Cursed Chair, the tale of Thomas Busby's stoop chair. In the quaint historical region of North Yorkshire, United Kingdom, the legend of Thomas Busby's stoop chair, also known as the Dead Man's Chair, has intrigued and terrified locals and visitors alike for centuries. This seemingly ordinary oak chair harbors a dark and eerie past, allegedly cursed by its former owner, the notorious murderer Thomas Busby, before his execution in 1702. The chair, now a relic in Thirsk Museum, is at the heart of one of England's most chilling and mysterious stories, the origins of the curse. Thomas Busby was a man known for his violent temper and criminal activities. Alongside his father-in-law, Daniel Auty, or Auty, Busby was deeply involved in a coin counterfeiting business, among other illicit enterprises. The two men often clashed over their operations, and one such argument in 1702 escalated to a deadly conclusion. In a fit of rage, Busby murdered Auty. Following his arrest, trial, and condemnation, the details surrounding Busby's curse vary. Some accounts suggest that Busby cursed the chair while drunkenly sitting in it at the Busby Stoop Inn as he was being arrested. Other versions claim that he cursed the chair on his way to the gallows, vowing that anyone who sat in it would meet an untimely death. Busby was executed by hanging at Sandhutton Crossroads, a site that later became synonymous with his haunted legacy. The inn near the execution site, eventually renamed the Busby Stoop Inn, added to the eerie ambience of the location. A chair of death. The chair remained at the Busby Stoop Inn for centuries, becoming a silent witness to the unfolding drama and death attributed to its curse. Throughout the years, locals began to notice a pattern. Those who sat in the chair often met tragic and premature deaths. The legend grew, casting a shadow of fear and superstition over the otherwise ordinary piece of furniture. During World War II, the legend took a more ominous turn. Canadian airmen stationed at the nearby Skipton-on-Swale Air Base would often visit the inn for a drink. It was said that those who dared to sit in Busby's chair never returned from their bombing missions over mainland Europe. This eerie correlation between the chair and the airman's fates further cemented the chair's reputation as a harbinger of doom. In the 1970s, the chair's deadly legacy continued. A series of fatal accidents were linked to individuals who had sat in the chair. The incidents became so frequent and unnerving that the inn's landlord decided to take drastic measures. In 1978, the chair was donated to the Thirsk Museum, where it was suspended from the ceiling to prevent anyone from sitting in it ever again, not even the maintenance workers. A skeptical examination. Despite the chilling tales and numerous deaths associated with Busby's chair, skepticism still surrounds the legend. In an effort to unravel the mystery, a furniture historian examined the infamous chair. His findings were surprising. The chair's spindles were machine-turned, a technique that was not used in the 18th century when Busby was alive. Instead, the historian dated the chair to around 1840, 138 years after Busby's execution. This discrepancy has led some to question the authenticity of the chair's origins and the validity of the curse. Nevertheless, the legend persists, fueled by centuries of storytelling and the enduring fear of the unknown. The chair remains a macabre symbol of Busby's wrath and a testament to the power of folklore in shaping local history. The haunting legacy. Today, the Busby stoop chair hangs in Thirsk Museum, an object of fascination and dread. Visitors to the museum often peer at the chair with a mix of curiosity and trepidation, aware of its deadly reputation. The chair's dark history and the numerous lives it purportedly claimed serve as a reminder of the strange and supernatural tales that weave through the fabric of human history. The story of Thomas Busby's cursed chair is more than just a tale of murder and mystery. It is a reflection of how legends are born and perpetuated. Whether one believes in the curse or views it as a mere coincidence, the narrative of the dead man's chair continues to captivate and terrify, ensuring that the legend of Thomas Busby and his vengeful curse endures for generations to come. The journey of the Black Prince's ruby, from Granada to the British Crown jewels. The Black Prince's ruby, an impressive red spinel weighing 170 carats, 34 grams, has been a cornerstone of the British Crown jewels for centuries. This remarkable gemstone, set above the Cullinan Taku diamond in the cross-pate of the Imperial State Crown, boasts a storied history that stretches back to the 14th century. Originating from the Badakhshan mines in present-day Afghanistan and Tajikistan, the Black Prince's ruby is one of the oldest and most fascinating components of the British Crown jewels. Origins and early history. The journey of the Black Prince's ruby began in the middle of the 14th century in the possession of Abu Sa'id, the Arab Muslim prince of the Emirate of Granada. During this period, the Moorish territories in Spain were under constant threat from the Christian reconquest. The Kingdom of Castile, under the rule of King Peter of Castile, known variously as Don Pedro the Cruel or Don Pedro the Just, was aggressively expanding its territory. In a bid to surrender to Don Pedro, Abu Sa'id approached the Castilian king. However, the exact terms of his surrender remain unclear. Historical records do agree that Don Pedro, eager to seize Abu Sa'id's wealth, welcomed him to Seville. Tragically, upon meeting, Don Pedro ordered the murder of Abu Sa'id's servants and may have personally killed the prince himself. Among the treasures seized from Abu Sa'id's body was the stunning red spinel, which would soon become known as the Black Prince's ruby, into the hands of the Black Prince. In 1366, Don Pedro faced a rebellion led by his illegitimate brother, Henry of Trastamara. Desperate for assistance, Don Pedro sought the help of the Black Prince, Edward of Woodstock, the son of England's King Edward III. The Black Prince agreed to aid Don Pedro in quelling the revolt, and after a successful campaign, he demanded the ruby as a token of gratitude for his services. Thus, the gemstone made its way into English hands, accompanying the Black Prince back to England. The Battle of Agincourt. The Black Prince's ruby next appears in historical records during the early 15th century. During his campaign in France, King Henry V of England wore a gem-encrusted helmet that included the Black Prince's ruby. On October 25, 1415, at the Battle of Agincourt, Henry V's forces faced the French army. During the battle, the French Duke of Alençon struck Henry on the head with a battle axe, nearly costing the king both his life and the precious gemstone. Despite the near-fatal blow, Henry's forces triumphed and the Black Prince's ruby was saved. Richard III and the Tudor crown. The ruby continued to play a prominent role in English history. Richard III is believed to have worn the gemstone in his helmet at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485, a conflict that resulted in his death. The gemstone then appeared in the inventory of King Henry VIII in 1521, described as a great balas ruby set in the Tudor crown. The Commonwealth and Restoration. The fate of the Black Prince's ruby took a precarious turn during the English Civil War. Oliver Cromwell, leader of the Commonwealth, ordered the dismantling and sale of the crown jewels. With the exception of the coronation chair and a few other items, most royal symbols were destroyed, and their gold was melted down for coinage. The Black Prince's ruby, then valued at £4, approximately £673 in today's money, vanished from public record during this turbulent period. Fortunately, the gemstone re-emerged when the monarchy was restored in 1660 under Charles II, the Victorian era and beyond. In 1838, the ruby was set in a new imperial state crown made for Queen Victoria by Rundell and Bridge. This crown, adorned with 3,093 gems, prominently featured the Black Prince's ruby at its front. The Queen's official coronation portrait by Sir George Hayter vividly captures her wearing the crown, showcasing the majestic spinel. The imperial state crown underwent a redesign in 1937, resulting in the current, lighter version. A plaquette on the reverse of the gemstone commemorates its illustrious history. Today, the Black Prince's ruby remains a symbol of the enduring legacy of the British monarchy, its vibrant red hue a testament to the tumultuous and storied path it has traveled through the annals of history. Conclusion. The Black Prince's ruby, a gemstone of extraordinary beauty and historical significance, has witnessed and survived centuries of political upheaval, battles, and royal intrigue. From its origins in the mines of Badakhshan to its current place of honor in the imperial state crown, the ruby's journey is a remarkable testament to the rich tapestry of human history. Its legacy continues to shine brightly, a symbol of resilience and royal heritage that captivates the imagination of all who gaze upon it. The Crying Boy, the legend of the cursed painting. In the post-war years of the 1950s, a series of paintings emerged from the studio of Italian painter Giovanni Bragolin, a pseudonym for Bruno Amarillo. These paintings, known collectively as The Crying Boy, depicted tearful children, their hauntingly sad expressions captured in vivid detail. Despite the melancholy subject matter, these prints became immensely popular and were mass-produced and sold widely. The origins of the curse. The urban legend surrounding the Crying Boy began to take shape on September 5, 1985, when the British tabloid newspaper The Sun published an article that would forever change the perception of these paintings. The article recounted the story of a firefighter from Essex who claimed that undamaged copies of The Crying Boy were often found amid the ruins of burned houses. The notion that the paintings were somehow resistant to fire, while the homes around them were reduced to ashes, sparked widespread fascination and fear. As the story gained traction, more and more reports surfaced, each adding to the mystique and dread associated with the paintings. By November 1985, belief in the curse was so pervasive that The Sun organized mass bonfires where readers could send in their copies of The Crying Boy to be burned. The response was overwhelming, with countless paintings consigned to the flames in an attempt to rid their owners of bad luck. Notable incidents. Several specific incidents contributed to the legend of the Crying Boy curse, each adding layers of intrigue and horror to the tale. Peter Hall's testimony. Yorkshire firefighter Peter Hall reported that fire brigades across northern England had repeatedly found undamaged copies of The Crying Boy in the aftermath of unexplained fires. His brother, Ron Hall, skeptical of the curse, bought a copy of the painting to disprove the jinx. Shortly thereafter, his home in Swallownest, South Yorkshire, mysteriously burned down. The painting was found unscathed among the ruins, prompting Ron to destroy it in frustration and fear. Dora Brand's home, Dora Brand of Mitcham, Surrey, saw her home reduced to ashes 6 weeks after purchasing the painting. Despite owning many other artworks, The Crying Boy was the only one to survive the blaze. Sandra Krask's family. Sandra Krask of Kilburn reported that she, her sister, her mother, and a friend had all experienced fires after acquiring copies of the painting. Perillo Pizza Palace. Fire. On October 21, 1985, the Perillo Pizza Palace in Great Yarmouth, Norfolk, was gutted by fire. Remarkably, a prominently displayed copy of The Crying Boy remained in pristine condition. The Godper family of Herringthorpe, South Yorkshire, lost their home to an unexplained fire on October 24, 1985. The Crying Boy, in their living room, remained untouched, while other pictures nearby were completely consumed by flames. The Amos family. In Heswall, Merseyside, on October 25, 1985, a gas explosion destroyed the home of the Amos family. A pair of The Crying Boy paintings were found intact amid the wreckage. The Leeds tragedy. In November 1985, a woman from Leeds who had destroyed her copy of The Crying Boy believed its destruction caused the deaths of her husband and 3 sons in a subsequent fire. Mrs. Woodward's losses. Mrs. Woodward of Forest Hill, London, destroyed her painting, convinced it was responsible for the separate fire-related deaths of her son, daughter, husband, and mother. Malcolm Vaughan's blaze. On November 12, 1985, Malcolm Vaughan of Churchdown, Gloucestershire, helped a neighbour destroy their painting, only to return home and find his own living room ablaze for inexplicable reasons. William Armitage's death. In December 1985, 67-year-old William Armitage died in a mysterious fire in Weston-super-Mare, Avon. The Crying Boy painting was found intact beside his charred body. A firefighter on the scene remarked on the oddity, admitting a newfound belief in the jinx, investigations and explanations. In the wake of these reports, various investigations sought to demystify the supposed curse. One notable effort was by Steve Punt, a British writer and comedian who explored the legend in a BBC Radio 4 program called Punt PI. The show conducted tests at the building research establishment, concluding that the prints were treated with a fire-retardant varnish. Additionally, the string used to hang the paintings would burn quickly in a fire, causing the paintings to fall face down and thus be protected from the flames. Despite these logical explanations, the legend persisted. Investigative journalist David Clark pointed out that more fantastical stories about the origins of the crying boy, including claims about the child models used and their supposed involvement in fires, were baseless. These tales only emerged in the 2000s and were not grounded in any factual evidence. The enduring myth. The story of the crying boy remains one of the most enduring urban legends of the 20th century. Its blend of tragic art, unexplained disasters, and the human propensity for superstition continues to captivate and unsettle. While rational explanations exist for the painting's apparent fire resistance, the chilling accounts and the widespread belief in the curse ensure that the crying boy will forever be shrouded in mystery and fear. The Conjure Chest and St. Valentine's Day Massacre Wall. The Conjure Chest. The Conjure Chest, a notorious piece of haunted furniture, dates back to the 19th century. The chest was crafted by an enslaved African-American named Hosea for his master, Jacob Cooley, in Kentucky. Cooley, unsatisfied with the chest, beat Hosea to death. The other slaves, in an act of defiance and sorrow, decided to curse the chest using traditional African conjuring practices. The chest's reputation for bringing misfortune is well documented. Over the years, it was linked to numerous deaths and tragedies within the Cooley family. The first victim was Cooley's own infant son, who died shortly after birth. The chest seemed to exact a heavy toll on anyone who owned it, with at least 17 recorded deaths attributed to it. These included illnesses, accidents, and other misfortunes that plagued the Cooley family and subsequent owners. The chest was passed down through generations, each inheritor aware of its deadly history. Eventually, it was donated to the Kentucky Historical Society in an attempt to contain its malevolent influence. Today, the chest remains an eerie reminder of the intersection of slavery, revenge, and the supernatural. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre Wall. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, one of the bloodiest events in mob history, occurred on February 14, 1929, in Chicago. 7 members of George Bugs Moran's North Side gang were lined up against a wall in the SMC Cartage Company garage and gunned down by 4 men, 2 of whom were dressed as police officers. The massacre was a result of the escalating gang war between Moran and his rival, Al Capone, who sought to dominate Chicago's lucrative bootlegging operations during Prohibition. The massacre was meticulously planned. The gunmen used Thompson's submachine guns and a shotgun, firing more than 70 rounds. Despite intense investigations, no one was ever convicted for the crime. Capone was widely suspected of orchestrating the massacre, but he had an alibi and was never charged. The event shocked the nation and marked a turning point in public awareness and intolerance of gang violence. In 1967, the garage where the massacre took place was demolished, but a Vancouver businessman named George Patey salvaged the bricks from the bullet-riddled wall. Patey numbered the bricks and used them in various exhibits over the years. The bricks were displayed in a nightclub restroom, a crime museum, and even sold as collectibles. Eventually, the bricks found a permanent home at the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. The museum meticulously reassembled the wall, ensuring the bricks were placed in their original configuration. The bullet holes, some enhanced with red paint for dramatic effect, remain visible. the wall stands as a tangible piece of one of America's most infamous unsolved crimes, drawing countless visitors fascinated by its dark history. Together, the Conjure Chest and the St. Valentine's Day Massacre Wall embody the haunting legacies of violence and tragedy. The chest, with its supernatural curse, and the wall, with its bloody history, serve as stark reminders of the human capacity for cruelty and the enduring impact of past misdeed. The Dybbuk Box, a modern myth unraveled. The Dybbuk Box, or Dybbuk Box, Hebrew, Kavapist Dybbavik, Romanized, Kufsat Dybbuk, has captivated the public imagination since it first appeared on eBay in 2003. Claimed to be a haunted wine cabinet containing a dybbuk, a malicious spirit from Jewish folklore, the box's story quickly evolved into a modern legend. This account examines the creation and evolution of the Dybbuk Box story, revealing it to be a carefully crafted tale rather than a genuine supernatural artifact. Origins of the Dybbuk Box. In 2003, Kevin Mannis, a writer and owner of a furniture refinishing business in Portland, Oregon, purchased an antique wine cabinet from a yard sale. Mannis, possessing a flair for storytelling, began to weave an elaborate backstory for the cabinet. He claimed that it was originally owned by a Holocaust survivor from Poland and that it contained the malevolent spirit of a dybbuk. According to Mannis, this spirit was responsible for a series of misfortunes and nightmares that plagued him after acquiring the box. The carving in the back of it is my carving, Mannis later admitted. The stone that was in the box is something that is a signature creation of mine also. Make no mistake, I conceived of the Dybbuk Box, the name, the term, the idea, and wrote this creative story around it to post on eBay. The eBay auction and viral fame. Mannis listed the Dybbuk Box on eBay with a detailed description of its supposed paranormal attributes. His account included tales of strange occurrences and bad luck that befell anyone who owned the cabinet. The auction garnered significant attention, and subsequent owners of the box perpetuated and expanded upon Mannis's original story, each adding their own claims of eerie phenomena. One notable owner, Jason Haxton, the director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine in Kirksville, Missouri, launched a website, dybbukbox.com, to consolidate the various claims and stories about the box. The site received hundreds of thousands of hits, cementing the Dybbuk Box as an internet legend. In 2004, Haxton sold the rights to the story to a Hollywood production company, leading to the 2012 release of the horror film The Possession, produced by Sam Raimi. Skepticism and debunking. Despite its popularity, the Dybbuk Box story has faced significant skepticism. Folklorist Jan Harold Brunvand noted that the narrative features a supernatural angle and a first-person narrative, common elements of urban legends. Elliot Oring, a professor of anthropology and folklore specialist, criticized the story for requiring the suspension of critical thinking. Chris French, head of the Anomalistic Psychology Research Unit at Goldsmiths College, suggested that the box's owners were predisposed to interpret any misfortune as evidence of a curse. In 2014, skeptical author Brian Dunning investigated the Dybbuk Box legend and found it to be fundamentally flawed. The concept of a dybbuk inhabiting an inanimate object contradicted traditional Jewish folklore, where a dybbuk is typically described as a disembodied spirit possessing a living person. Further debunking came from investigator Kenny Biddle, who, in a 2019 column for Skeptical Inquirer, reviewed the Dybbuk Box on display in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. Biddle concluded that the cabinet was not a Jewish wine cabinet from Spain, as claimed, but rather a minibar from New York. He asserted that the entire story was a fabrication by Mannis, designed to sell an ordinary object with an extraordinary backstory: the creator's confession. In 2021, Kevin Mannis openly admitted to writer Charles Moss that the Dybbuk box was his own creation. "I am a creative writer. The Dybbuk box is a story that I created," Mannis stated. He explained that the story was intended to be an interactive horror narrative, evolving over time with new elements added to maintain its relevance and intrigue. Mannis's confession was not entirely surprising to those familiar with the history of the Dybbuk box. His initial eBay post in 2003 was the first known reference to such an object, and he had previously challenged skeptics to find any mention of a Dybbuk box prior to his auction. Conclusion: the Dybbuk box serves as a fascinating case study in the power of storytelling and the Internet's role in spreading modern myths. While the box itself is a tangible object, its haunted history is a work of fiction, crafted by Kevin Mannis and amplified by a willing audience eager to believe in the supernatural. The story of the Dybbuk box highlights how easily urban legends can take root in the collective consciousness, blurring the lines between reality and imagination. The haunted art, the enigma of the hands resist him. In the annals of modern art, few works have garnered as much intrigue and fear as Bill Stonham's 1972 painting, The Hands Resist Him. What began as a simple portrayal of a young boy and his doll soon morphed into a chilling urban legend that captured the imagination of millions. The painting's eerie backstory and the supernatural claims surrounding it have made it a topic of fascination and terror, sparking widespread discussion and curiosity. The creation and initial reception. Bill Stoneham created The Hands Resist Him in 1972, drawing inspiration from a photograph of himself at the age of 5. The painting features a young boy and a doll-like girl standing before a glass-paneled door against which numerous disembodied hands press. According to Stoneham, the boy represents himself. The doorway symbolizes the barrier between the waking world and the realm of dreams and fantasies, and the doll serves as a guide through this surreal landscape. The hands, meanwhile, signify alternate lives and possibilities. The painting was first exhibited at the Feingarten Gallery in Beverly Hills. It caught the attention of the Los Angeles Times art critic, who reviewed it during a solo show for Stoneham. Actor John Marley, renowned for his role as Jack Woltz in The Godfather, purchased the painting. For a time, it seemed destined to remain a curious piece in the world of contemporary art. However, the painting's true notoriety would emerge decades later under bizarre circumstances. The eBay listing and viral sensation. Sometime after John Marley's death, the painting resurfaced in the most unexpected of places: an old brewery. An elderly Californian couple discovered the artwork and, in February 2000, decided to sell it on eBay. What they included in their listing, however, was not just an ordinary sales pitch, but a series of startling claims that catapulted the painting into viral infamy. The couple alleged that The Hands Resist Him was haunted. They claimed that the figures in the painting moved during the night and at times left the painting altogether to wander the room where it was displayed. To support their claims, the sellers provided photographs purportedly showing the doll character menacing the boy with a gun, an event they described as occurring during the night. The eBay listing came with a disclaimer absolving the sellers of any liability should the painting's alleged supernatural properties cause harm or distress to the new owner. The post quickly garnered attention, with thousands of curious and skeptical internet users flocking to the auction page, driven by both fascination and fear. The public's reaction and media coverage. The eerie claims and accompanying photographs sparked a frenzy. As the story spread across forums, websites, and eventually mainstream media, The Hands Resist Him became an internet sensation. Articles in newspapers and magazines delved into the painting's history and the supernatural claims, often highlighting the eerie nature of the seller's descriptions and the bizarre photographs. Paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike weighed in, debating the veracity of the claims. Some internet users reported feeling uneasy or experiencing strange phenomena after merely viewing images of the painting online. The painting's eerie allure seemed to grow with each retelling of the story, cementing its place in the pantheon of modern urban legends. Bill Stonham's response. Amidst the uproar, Bill Stonham himself commented on the phenomenon. While he acknowledged the strangeness of the situation, he maintained that the painting was merely a work of art and denied any knowledge of supernatural elements. Stonham's statements did little to quell the fascination, however, as the painting's mystique had already taken on a life of its own. In interviews, Stonham explained that the painting's themes were deeply personal, touching on childhood memories and existential ideas. He expressed a mix of bemusement and disbelief at the notion that his artwork had sparked such widespread fear and intrigue. Despite the supernatural claims, Stonham continued to produce art, albeit none as infamous as The Hands Resist Him. Legacy and continued fascination. The viral eBay listing and the subsequent media attention turned The Hands Resist Him into a cultural touchstone. Over the years, the painting has been featured in numerous articles, television segments, and even documentaries exploring haunted objects and supernatural phenomena. Its story serves as a testament to the power of the internet in shaping modern folklore and the enduring allure of the mysterious and unexplained. The Hands Resist Him remains a subject of fascination, drawing viewers who are both captivated and unsettled by its imagery and the legends surrounding it. The painting's journey from a personal artistic expression to a purportedly haunted artifact highlights the unpredictable paths that art can take and the stories it can inspire. As it stands, The Hands Resist Him is more than just a painting. It is a phenomenon that continues to intrigue and terrify, a modern myth born from the confluence of art, fear, and the internet's boundless imagination. This account encapsulates the mysterious and eerie journey of The Hands Resist Him, from its creation by Bill Stonham to its transformation into an internet legend. The painting's story is a remarkable example of how art can transcend its original context to become a symbol of the supernatural in popular culture. The Hope Diamond, a tale of beauty and mystery. Introduction. The Hope Diamond, weighing 45.52 carats, 9.104 grams, has fascinated people for centuries with its extraordinary size, rare blue hue, and intriguing history. This gemstone story is one of grandeur, intrigue, and mystery, spanning from the mines of India to the royal courts of France, and eventually to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. This account delves into the remarkable journey of the Hope Diamond, exploring its origins, ownership, and the legends that have accompanied it. Geological beginnings. The Hope Diamond's journey began deep within the Earth over 1 billion years ago, where intense pressure and heat formed this magnificent gem. The diamond was originally embedded in kimberlite rock, and its unique blue color is attributed to trace amounts of boron within its crystal structure. The Indian origin. The story of the Hope Diamond traces back to the Kollur mine in Guntur, India, part of the historic Golconda Kingdom. In the mid-17th century, the French gem merchant Jean-Baptiste Tavernier acquired the uncut gem during one of his voyages to India. Tavernier's accounts and sketches in his book Les 6 Voyages de J.B. Tavernier suggest that he sold the blue diamond, along with other precious stones, to King Louis XIV of France around 1668, the French blue. Once in the possession of Louis XIV, the diamond was recut by the court jeweler Jean Pitot into a 67.125 carat, 13.425 grams stone, known as the French blue, le bleu de France. This impressive gem was set into a cravat pin and later incorporated into a more elaborate pendant for the Order of the Golden Fleece by Louis XV in 1749. The diamond's association with the French monarchy only added to its allure and prestige, the theft and disappearance. During the tumultuous days of the French Revolution, the French blue was stolen in 1792 along with other crown jewels. The diamond disappeared for several decades, with theories suggesting it was smuggled to London and recut to disguise its identity. This period of anonymity shrouded the gem in mystery, fueling stories of a supposed curse linked to its owner's misfortunes. The Hope Diamond emerges. In 1812, a blue diamond resembling the French blue surfaced in London, in the possession of diamond merchant Daniel Ellison. This gem, weighing 45.54 carats, 9.108 grams, is believed to be the recut French blue. The diamond eventually came into the possession of Thomas Hope, a wealthy London banker, and became known as the Hope Diamond. It was prominently featured in a catalogue of his brother Henry Philip Hope's gem collection in 1839. American ownership. The Hope Diamond remained with the Hope family until financial difficulties forced its sale. In 1901, Lord Francis Hope, burdened by debts, sold the diamond to Adolph Weil, a London jewel merchant, while subsequently sold it to Simon Frankel, a New York-based diamond dealer. The diamond's journey across the Atlantic marked the beginning of its American chapter. Harry Winston and the Smithsonian. The Hope Diamond changed hands several times in the early 20th century, eventually being acquired by American socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean. McLean's ownership of the diamond added to its mystique, as she wore it frequently despite the legends of a curse. After McLean's death, the diamond was bought by jeweler Harry Winston in 1949. Recognizing its historical and cultural significance, Winston donated the Hope Diamond to the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of Natural History in 1958. The Hope Diamond today. Today, the Hope Diamond is one of the most popular exhibits at the Smithsonian, attracting millions of visitors each year. Scientific studies have confirmed its remarkable properties, including its phosphorescent glow under ultraviolet light, which emits a red glow for several minutes after exposure. This unique characteristic adds to the diamond's allure, making it a subject of ongoing scientific research. Conclusion. The Hope Diamond's journey from the mines of India to its current home at the Smithsonian Institution is a tale of adventure, royalty, and mystery. Its rich history, coupled with its stunning beauty, continues to captivate the imagination of people around the world. Whether viewed as a symbol of opulence or a specimen of geological wonder, the Hope Diamond remains one of the most iconic and storied gemstones in history. The Curse of James Dean's Car. Introduction. The legend of James Dean's Porsche 550 Spider, famously nicknamed Little Bastard, has woven itself into American cultural mythology. The car's story is not just one of a tragic accident, but of a supposed curse that followed its remains and parts for years after Dean's fatal crash. This tale has been perpetuated by various accounts and incidents, creating a mysterious and eerie narrative that continues to captivate the public. The ominous warning. The origin of the curse began even before the infamous crash. British actor Alec Guinness, in his autobiography Blessings in Disguise, 1985, recounted an eerie premonition he experienced upon meeting James Dean. On September 23, 1955, Dean showed Guinness and his friend Thelma Moss his newly delivered silver Porsche. Guinness felt an inexplicable dread and warned Dean, "If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week." Exactly a week later, on September 30th, 1955, Dean's Porsche collided with another vehicle on Route 466, leading to his untimely death. The aftermath and Barris's role. Following the crash, the wrecked little bastard became the property of George Barris, a custom car designer known as the King of the Customizers. Barris played a crucial role in propagating the curse narrative. He claimed that the car, or parts of it, were involved in a series of accidents and mishaps from 1956 to 1960, resulting in injuries and even a death. Barris's book, Cars of the Stars, 1974, detailed many of these incidents. According to Barris, Dr. William Eschrich purchased the wrecked car, dismantled it, and used its parts in other vehicles. Dr. McHenry, who had a car powered by Dean's Porsche engine, died in a crash when his vehicle struck a tree during its first race. Eschrich himself was involved in a serious accident but survived. These events contributed to the growing legend of the Little Bastard curse. Public display and further incidents. Barris decided to display the wrecked Porsche as a morbid exhibit. In 1956, he lent the car to the Los Angeles chapter of the National Safety Council, where it was shown as James Dean's last sports car. This exhibit toured various locations, drawing public attention and reinforcing the curse narrative. One notable incident occurred in 1959 when the little bastard, stored in a garage in Fresno, California, caught fire. The blaze caused minor damage to the car, but did not spread to other vehicles or property. The cause of the fire remained unknown, further adding to the mystery and intrigue surrounding the car. The disappearance. In 1960, the little bastard reportedly vanished. According to Barris, the car was being shipped back to Los Angeles in a sealed boxcar after a display in Florida. When the boxcar arrived, it was empty. This disappearance has never been fully explained, and theories abound, including the possibility that Barris himself orchestrated the car's vanishing to keep the legend alive. Skepticism and verification. Despite the numerous stories, many aspects of the curse remain unverified. Warren Beath, a James Dean archivist, suggests that the curse was largely a creation of Barris to maintain public interest in Dean and the wrecked Porsche. Robert Raskin, in his book James Dean at Speed, 2005, also questions many of Barris's claims, noting that no substantial evidence links the car parts to subsequent accidents, except for the incident involving Dr. McHenry. Current status. As of 2022, the whereabouts of the little bastard remain unknown. Pieces of the car are believed to be held by collectors and museums. Historic Auto Attractions in Roscoe, Illinois, claims to have a small piece of the car, and the Volo Auto Museum in Illinois displayed a door purported to be from the little bastard. However, no definitive proof has emerged to confirm the authenticity of these claims. The Porsche's engine and transaxle have been traced to private collectors, but the rest of the car is lost to history. The engine remains with the family of the late Dr. Eschrich, while the transaxle is owned by a collector in Massachusetts. Conclusion. The story of James Dean's Little Bastard is a compelling blend of fact, fiction, and folklore. The tragic death of a young Hollywood icon, coupled with the strange incidents involving the wrecked car, has created a narrative that continues to fascinate. Whether one believes in the curse or views it as a series of unfortunate coincidences, the legend of the little bastard endures, a haunting reminder of the perils of fame and speed.